Hello and welcome to Cozy News Corner week 1-2 of 2026, your source for open source news. And there is a lot of news, of course, when we were talking about 2 weeks. And I'm gonna keep some of the news very brief and then go into a little bit more of detail on some of it. And the first things we're gonna go through is a rapid security issue briefing. So first off, we have the libheif image format in Ubuntu 25.10 that has a critical denial of service issue. Next up, we have again some PHP memory issue in all versions of Ubuntu. Needs to be updated. It's the embedded language interpreter for all of the PHP versions. Next up, we have a Python important denial of service again for all Ubuntu versions. And it's different, a lot of different Python versions, pretty much all of them. So it's probably a package that Python is depending on. And then we have lib URL, important denial of service again there. And it's a part of the library for Python. So of course, look into that if you're using that. Next up, we have the LTS Linux kernel that has a bunch of security fixes. So if you're running on the LTS supported version, upgrade it soon. Next up, we have the Linux kernel important update. So again, update the kernel. And we have Linux Azure NVIDIA, critical issues there. So if you're running any AI things on the Azure cloud, upgrade that. Chromium, critical arbitrary code execution. So if you're running Chromium, update it on Debian. libvirt, again, a denial of service issue. So that needs to be updated. Critical, not that high of a severity. Next up, we have another denial of service for the GPS daemon. We have a critical exposure in libsodium, so some keys could be exposed, so some sensitive information. Upgrade. Next up, we have a denial of service for VLC, so some video formats are impacted. Need to update so you don't get an unresponsive VLC. Next up, we have new privacy guard, which has a critical remote code execution vulnerability. So this could make it made to crash or run programs if received, especially crafted network traffic. So that's not good. Need to be upgraded soon. I'm not sure why the severity wasn't higher. Next up, we have Debian Trixie, the SMB 4K, critical local privilege escalation. So you could escalate your privileges on the system using the SMB protocol. Next up, we have libxslt, critical denial of service, again on Ubuntu. So this is the XLT processing library. Next up, we have glib, critical vulnerabilities, several fixes, so just upgrade it. This is such a large library, of course, so it will impact pretty much anything. libsodium again here, critical crypto core integrity. So it's some of the cores. I haven't read this particularly. It doesn't really say what algorithm it is. Oh, there we have. It's the ED25519 valid point function that has a problem. Next up, we have WebKit GTK. Security updates needs to be updated. GIMP, an important denial of service. So update it if you are using it on Debian. And Tornado critical XSS denial of service flaws. So if you are using XSS, you need to update that. So that was the quick run through of all the different issues we have seen in Debian and Ubuntu. So it's mostly those kind of systems that Linux security keeps track of. Next up, we have the EU that launched a call for evidence on European open digital ecosystem. So the EU is looking into if they can go over to more open source, if they can leave the different cloud solutions and so on. So they have actually opened a call for evidence, so they can go through and make a decision on this. And tied to this, we also have this that the European has a new plan to break free from the US tech dominance. So I think these two are very connected. So they are trying to find different open source solutions that could be something to go into instead. So you can use open office solutions, use AI in the US, in EU, Europe, and so on, cybersecurity, and also the automotive sector. So that is a trend that we are trying to split the world apart. So America is on one end, Russia is on one end, and you have China that has its own little place, and then you have Europe. So everyone is trying to create their own small fiefdoms, which I'm not sure if that is a good way of going about it, but it's a trend that we are seeing at least. Next up, we have the C-file, file sync server that adds AI search and more advanced metadata for your files and so on. So if you're using C-file 13, it could be, or C-file, it could be interesting to upgrade your server. Next up, we have Hyperland, and it has a lot of different rewrites and so on. It's a tiling manager for Wayland, and it has a couple of breaking changes and so on. So if you're using Hyperland and upgrade, keep that in mind. Next up, we have SDL 3.4 that brings native support for PNGs and more GPU rendering features and so on. So this is a library that you could use for game development or other things in order to write particular rendering pipelines and so on in order to show graphics pretty much. So it's a way of accessing video memory and processing in a simpler way. So the simple direct media layer. So it will give developers more tools. Next up, we have the Arch Linux installer that adds support for REFIND boot manager. So I'm not really sure what this is. I guess it's a different architecture that you can install things to. Next up, we have Shortcut, this video editor that I have tried to use. I have never really seen that Shortcut has enough features or has the different short commands that I need. So I use the keyboard a lot when I edit, and Shortcut didn't really have that, so I had to use the mouse a lot in order to do very simple things. So I'm not really keen on it, but it has added more support for 10-bit CPU processing and high quality editing beyond GPU effects, and also better UI features. So in the future, I might look into it and try to use it as well. And next up, we have NFC Plus that could become the next NFC driver and move closer to the kernel integration. So they have been in talks with the Linux community and the Linux kernel developers, and they are looking into changing the NFS driver that is implemented in Linux to this FS Plus instead. And I have used this NFS driver, and it's not really that good. Having read-write is scary because it's not fully implemented. It doesn't implement all of the APIs, so it could be interesting to see a new driver in the Linux kernel. Next up, we have the Arch Linux. So Arch Linux crowd is people that really likes to build their own system and have a very up-to-date Linux version. So they are very on the forefront to this latest versions of everything. But keep in mind, if you are using an older NVIDIA GPU, they will actually deprecate them. So older drivers for old GPUs are not supported on Arch Linux going forward. Next up, we have SuperTux. And this has been people have been working on this since I was little, and I haven't played SuperTux yet, but there is a new beta out for 0.7 that has more levels, better worlds, new assets, music, gameplay changes, and so on. So I should pick it up and try it. Maybe do a video about it as well, but I haven't played it yet, so I should really play it. Next up, we have Debian Data Protection Team. And this is the team that was created when we got this GDPR and everything around that. And you needed to have some kind of legal help in order to ensure data protection. And also figure out different requirements, write documentation, send in information to the EU, and so on. And this team is no more. And because they have stepped away and said, okay, we have been working on this for many years now, and we are tired of it, and we would like someone to take over. So it's pretty much they have sent out information on their mailing list asking for volunteers that could take over this role. Next up, we have Debian urgency seeks volunteers after data protection team resigns. So it's pretty much the exact same news here. We have a quote here. The fact that all members have stepped back at the same time should make it clear that we urgently need new volunteers to fill this role. So the whole team just said, okay, we are done with this, and they now need support in this area. Next up, we have Nitrux that drops support for virtual machines. So if you're running Nitrux and find that a great distro, you can no longer install that on a virtual machine. It supports only bare metal. I'm not really sure what the big differences are there. I guess that you don't have that tight integration between different virtual machine softwares, and perhaps you don't fully use Hyper-V and therefore doesn't really go run that fast or something like that. But you should be able to boot it, right? Next up, Ubuntu is now officially supporting the NVIDIA Rubin AI system. So NVIDIA have released new GPUs every year, and they are still working on new architectures in order to make things faster. And I think that when they released the model last year, they said next time we will release Rubin, and then we will release a Rubin enhanced version that is just 2 Rubin chips glued together pretty much, and they will be even better performance there. So Rubin was not released that long ago. I think it was a couple of months ago, but it actually has official support in NVIDIA, in Ubuntu now. So if you want to run AI inference or AI training on Ubuntu, you have support for it now, even if you buy these really expensive Rubin cards. Next up, we have the really great middle click to paste. That will likely be disabled in future normally releases because it's not supported in Wayland. And it's an X11 thing. So, hate or love Wayland, you will lose this feature. Next up, we have the LOS32 that wants to turn Linux into a fully Win32 desktop powered by Wine. So they are working on creating something that has the Windows look and feel, use Wine so you can run Windows applications in 32-bit mode for some odd reason. I think we are going from 32-bit, but it could be good if you want to run really old applications and want support for desktop applications that were written last decade or something like that. Next up, we have the Brave ad blocker. I've done some check on this and figured out that it has 75% lower memory use when you have the ad blocker enabled. And ads do take a lot of CPU and they do take a lot of memory. I was upgrading Ubuntu the other day, and my ad blocker was, for some odd reason, removed, and I couldn't have like 20 tabs open with ads, or my machine would, the fans would start up and it would sound horrible, and the machine would work really hard just to deliver this ad content that I just ignore anyway. So for me, it's not a case of I don't want ads. I would gladly see ads. That's not a problem. It's a machine health, and that I want to have my CPU for the things that I want to do, not just play ad videos, pretty much. So I don't care about ads, but they can take my system down. So Brave's new ad blocker is really efficient. So if you're using Brave, upgrade so you get this feature. Next up, we have the Steam, which is now coming with ARM64 support on Ubuntu, or at least they're open testing on via Snap. And I think that the games that are written today should go forward to 64-bit mode as well. As of now, most of the runners in Steam is actually running all games in 32-bit mode, so having different tests going on and trying to go forward and find a solution for ARM 64 is really nice. So I'm really looking forward to this being something available for real. Maybe we could see a release of a Steam version this or maybe next year for 64-bit systems. It could be nice. Next up, we have Drossel 9, and this is a Docker log viewer. And I heard about some Lighthouse or something like that that were used in order to have views into Docker and read logs and so on that was deprecated. So this might be something that you can change to in order to collate and look at logs from Docker. And in this newer release, it has homepage sections, container group counters, multiple UI refinements, and better logging navigation. So it could be a really good thing to try out. Last thing is, and it's not least, this is Microsoft going out and open sourcing the XAML Studio, which is used to write UI application for Windows. And having that open source and available on GitHub is really cool that they have actually open sourced it after 8 years. So this was the news for today. I haven't been doing that many videos lately. It's a lot of hectic time during the holidays, and I also took some time off, of course. I have a health issue, currently being deaf on one ear, and it actually pains me to talk because I don't like high sounds, and I have tinnitus, and the syndrome is called sudden deafness, which is not fun at all. And I also have had a lot of things to do at work now that we have started the new year. So, but hopefully later on I will both have the energy in order to make more videos on different topics, of course. Continue doing these kind of news videos would also be really nice, and keep it up every week because I really enjoy talking about this, and I learn a lot and find different tools that I want to look into more and perhaps make a video about. So this is as much of a news source as an expert or a way for me to find new things as well. So keeping up with the news. So I hope that you found this video interesting. I hope that you liked this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave those in the comment section down below. And I really want to see you in the next video.